Hey everybody, welcome to Trading Capital's exclusive analysis. In today's video, we're discussing natural gas and oil, starting with WTI crude because that's where the inflation expectations are currently revolving around. If we look at WTI crude, what was impressive about today's price action is the fact that oil today made a new nominal low on the daily chart, closed piercing over the $77 barrel, ticking all the way down to a low of 76.67 on the daily chart of WTI crude, and then it had a bullish reversal and took it positive on the session, closing in at just under 1% positive on the session. So right now, oil's trading at 78.90 a barrel, and you can clearly see the long-term support. This is a beautiful wedge pattern that is forming from your COVID low in 2020 to your Russia-Ukraine high in 2022. And this is a multi-year wedge pattern, and this is showing that oil price action is coiling to make a really big outsized move. Obviously, the apex of this wedge pattern on the weekly chart puts us at around, could be around July in order for a bigger directional move to occur. Right now, we are at technical support. So one of the reasons I'm doing this video is because I do think that there's an opportunity in the energy space to now trade against this daily bottoming tail on oil. This is a nice positive sign for the oil price action. And I do think that this gives the ability for a little bit more confidence now in the energy stocks, because that's a little bit of a bullish hammer candle that has formed on the daily chart. Obviously, we need to see how the weekly chart closes. More impressively, if oil can recapture the 50 weekly moving average, which currently we are above as of today's close, then that would also be a short-term bullish sign for the energy equities. If we look at XLE is at an impressive technical resistance. Technical support. This is a monthly wedge pattern as well. Pivot high going all the way back to 2014. So this is a 10-year trend line connecting to your pivot high and all the way in 2022. Obviously, we pierced that level, pretty hard hammer candle down, but this has been a multi-week consolidation sell-off over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. This is the fifth week of sell side pressure, and we are into some daily chart support on the 50-day moving average right here. It does appear to be putting in a little bit of bearish consolidation, but I think the reason that looks to be that way is because oil has actually been weak over the last couple of weeks. Therefore, equity investors in the oil space have been net sellers over the last couple of weeks, and it's looking like this is bearish price action. But if oil starts to reverse off these key levels, and more impressively, if you see oil start to recapture the $80 barrel, then I think that's going to be a very positive sign. Again, you look at XOM sitting right on that 50-day moving average. You look at Valero VLO, that's another strong energy stock that once it starts to catch a bid, it really starts to move. Obviously, it looks like a daily chart bear flag, but ultimately there is a case for a bit of a falling wedge pattern. Right now, you pierced it on heavy volume. Next day, you saved it again, and really you haven't broken down officially on the daily chart, and this wedge pattern could eventually catch some sort of a bid. Obviously, if you fall, then you'll have some major support at these pivot highs going all the way back to your 2023 pivot, second pivot high right through this gap, right at a 50% retrace. That would likely be a very strong technical level. And especially with earnings out of the way now, this is just appearing to consolidate and looking to accumulate some of these names. All right, Nat Gas, let's quickly take a peek at natural gas. Obviously, natural gas has been an impressive move over the last few weeks. And again, full disclosure, we exited our Nat Gas position for a nice little gain with members. One of the reasons we exited, and one of the reasons we actually shorted Nat Gas in the live day trade room. And again, if you haven't checked out that live day trade room, definitely find us on YouTube. We're usually trading the market open at Trading Capital Inc. And again, we were able to pick this up in the live day trade room for a beautiful long entry of 2.28% on KOLD. That was shorting Nat Gas at the open. The members got that alert on the live stream. So that was a really impressive move down. And one of the reasons when you look at natural gas, nothing's wrong with the chart. It's still holding up bullishly. It just needs some time to digest this move. A beautiful 3-bar surge into a huge resistance level is something that needs to be respected in the near term. There's a lot of resistance in and around this range, and obviously you have had a pretty substantial move off of the lows, but it's looking pretty clear and evident that Nat Gas has broken out. Again, something I haven't really showed you and discussed is this Bollinger Band. This is a 2.5 standard deviation Bollinger Band. What I love to look for is patterns that have a 1, 2, 3 bar surge into a 2.5 standard deviation move on the daily chart. Then you look for potentially a little bit of an intraday reversal in some sort of a move. So again, this is a nice little trade setup that occurred today where you had a nice 3 bar surge, a fourth consecutive, fifth attempt at breaking higher, and a nice reversal in. So again, that was an attempt at breaking out of that 2.5 standard deviation, and price action was kept in. Now this is just weekly deviation moves. If you look at that was just daily standard deviation moves. If you look at the weekly, there's still a lot of oversold potential price action in Nat Gas. You're talking about a 391 standard, 2.5 standard weekly deviation high. So, I mean, that's the potential by the end of the year where Nat Gas could start to head. If you keep your eye on this 2.5 standard deviation, I think Nat Gas is slowly going to stair step its way up into this range. It's not going to be a straight shot there, but it's looking likely that we're starting to press higher in the near term. Again, if this gets any sort of pullback, I do think that it's a very lucrative opportunity buy. On that note, thank you all for tuning in. Please give this video a like down below, and we'll see you on the charts a bit later.